In this video, we're going to take a look at the SMS and MMS messages page. Messages is essentially the scripting for text messaging within COS. So to get there, we're going to select messages from our navigation menu in our COS project. And this brings up a preview of this text messaging script. So up here at the top, we have some basic features such as you can print the script out, you can email it directly off of your device, you can download it to your device. Then you can also download the script in a JSON format if you need to transfer the script into a different project. Then you could therefore upload that same downloaded JSON script into a different project by clicking import, the up arrow. So here, this is a preview of the script. We can see the entire thing and review it to make sure that everything looks good. Now getting into the script itself, we'll click edit, and this will bring us to the initial message. So this is the message that is first being sent from COS when we initially try to make contact with the voter or the recipient of the message. And there are some features here that we'll go over. So at the very top here at the screen, we've got two pretty important features, addition params or additional parameters. This allows us to do a couple of things. It's got two different options. One, we can add an MMS file. So it could be a picture, it could be a video, it could be an audio recording. Whichever it is, this is where we would add that that image or video into the text message to be sent out within the initial message. The other option we have is this is where we would start setting up our link tracking. So got the tracking link. And so if I added in a tracking link, I would add our original URL that we want to shorten, and then, that we would want to track, and then I would determine which question we want to track the number of clicks in the reporting. So it would be question 1. Then underneath all of that, we have some fields that are actually required due to compliance rules and regulations. So for every text message, there has to be an organization name, a name that identifies who the sender is, and that information in the script is displayed here in red. So you would type it out in this field and it would be then displayed here in the red bar at the beginning of the message. Underneath that is our opt-out message. Again, this is something that is required to be included with every text message that is sent out. So for these purposes, we just have a few different options that you can select and choose from. All of these are approved opt-out type messaging, so any of these will work. Some of them are a little bit shorter than others, so they may save you, on your character count and shorten the message up a little bit. So you do have that option as well. Then after that, you have the initial message. So this is the actual verbiage that's being sent out within the text message. So after you've input your organization name here in red, you would just include the rest of your messaging. And then agent screen header, if you've got agents manually sending this, or maybe doing some freeform type response work, some back and forth messaging with voters, then you can include information about each record, such as the name of the person, address, phone number. You can include all that in the text messaging send screen or script. And then lastly, at the bottom here in red, we've got information that is pretty relevant in terms of message count and character counts. So it's going to tell you how each message is encoded. It's going to tell you the length of each message. So one segment for each text message, a single segment, it equals 160 characters. So the length will tell you how many characters you have, or how many characters the message contains. And it'll tell you how many segments it is, if it goes over 160, and so on and so forth. So once we have that, I'll back up here and go directly into the follow-up. So similar to live call scripts, you can set up questions. You could set up an entire survey conducted completely through text messaging, and the way you would do that is by setting up follow-up text messages. And so it kind of operates in a similar fashion to a live call script. The description here, that's just where you would include the question from the previous script. And then, if the question was, will you vote for Joe Smith? You could put in response 1, yes. And in this field is where you would put the actual pushback response, that verbiage that might say, oh great, thank you for your support, please remember to vote on this day and this time. So if they answer yes to your question, you would code that out accordingly, and then the verbiage you type into this particular field would then be automatically sent once you code that response. You have a few different options here. The label, that's just what the response is labeled as within the reporting. Activist code, if you're importing anything from Van, like the script itself, then this is where you would input those activist codes. You can add MMS messages to your pushback responses, MMS files to those pushback responses. You can also track links in these pushback responses. And then Autobot, very helpful feature. This allows you to set up specific words or catchphrases or parameters that COS will automatically look for in the responses. So if your first response is yes, then you could include options that say, contains exact, yes, and then variations, yeah, sure, a single Y. Common responses that people reply with, you can set COS up to look for those specific responses, and it will automatically code those responses with the actual response code. And then you can always insert questions directly in. You can delete questions out as well, and you can also determine the skip logic. So if you've got a script that diverges at certain points, you can set it up so that it's navigated correctly within COS.